Okay, confidence intervals are extremely useful and becoming more and more so accepted, much more than p-values, say, for example. But they are a little bit tricky to understand, which is why Alex tries to hit them in so many different directions. So here they give you some examples of a sample. Notice that they say all of these samples we'll be looking at, they're coming of size 18. And they're all being taken from the same population. So it's important to realize that, think about it, if you take all JMU students and you take a sample of 20 of them and test anything, average GPA, average height, average shoe size, whatever it is, they're going to be a little different, right? Every sample of 20 is going to be a little different. And that's what happens here with these samples, even if they're the same sample size and even if they're taken from the same population. So our goal of these is to capture the population mean, to try to estimate where this is. So I'm going to generate some samples here. And we don't usually know the population mean. We usually only know what our confidence interval is. But this is just showing us an example where we can actually see, here's a sample drawn, and here's the lower upper limit for each of these types. And then we answer some theoretical questions. So notice also that the greater the width of the interval, the more confident that we are that we'll catch it. Kind of makes sense, right? If you were playing ring toss or something, the wider the ring, the more chance you'll land it on the stick. So here, the wider the confidence interval, 95% is going to be much more likely to catch that mean, to have it inside the lower and upper bound, as an 80% would. So they ask us first, how many of the 80% confidence intervals actually do contain? Because we're not guaranteed anything. That's why the 80% confident. In general, on average, we'll catch about 80%. Not exactly, not certainly, not at least, but on average, we'll catch about 80%. Let's see how many we caught here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice the sixth one did not catch it. The red line is outside of that, so we're not going to count that. 6, 7, that one missed. 8, missed. 9, 10, 11, missed. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 out of the 20. In that case, it happened to be exactly 80% of them. But it could have been that 15 or 17 of them caught that also. It's about 80% are going to catch. Let's check 95%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's a case where, 95% would be 19 of the 20 catching it, but actually all 20 did. And that's fine. The confidence interval gives you, about what percent. In the long run, that's how many percent will catch it. But if we're taking 20 samples, about what percent of those 20 samples will include the population mean. So sample means are different. So the center, this is true. So each confidence interval is based on a different sample mean, and they tell you what the sample means are here. You can see that they're, each interval is centered a little differently. That's completely normal. Just like if you'd take 20 JMU students, average their shoe size, take another 20, average it, it'd probably be a little different, right? For each sample, the 80% is included in the 95%. That's true. Not only is the 95% wider, but we're stretching out from the same sample mean. The only difference is the critical value is higher for the 95%. So you're just going to get a little further out in each direction. So you can think of it kind of gobbling up, starting with the 80% and then stretching out a little bit further. Nothing wrong that they're different from each other. Completely true. So that's just inferential statistics. It's always going to be a little bit different. It's not exact like mathematics. Center of 80% confidence interval sample 1 is 100, because the center of any confidence interval. So what they're saying there is, if what they were saying is true, every one of these would have had to be exactly centered on that red line here and on that blue line here. And that's not true at all. when we say 80%, we're not saying 80% confident that the population will be right in the center of our confidence interval. That's not true there. All right, so we will check these. There we go.